Hello everyone. I thought it's good to go through all the basics of our fabrics slow stitching projects. First of all, what type of fiber space that we could use as fiber page or any base? This is just some old sheets. I believe it's cotton sheet from from some bed sheets. It's easy to tear and it's not fit at all. It's nice to stitch on. You don't want anything bulky. Try not to use batting and other heavy stuff, because for example, if you use thick fiber as base, it's really hard to push the needle in and it will hurt your finger. So you can just grab a needle and do a bit of test, see if it's alright to put the needle in. The principle is anything that not hurts your finger or hands. If you think there's resistance in the fibers, better to avoid that. Try to stick with something that is a bit soft to bring the needle in. And you can use any fibers, literally. Ugly fibers if you don't mind. So needles, you can use any needles you like. For fiber-based stats, you can use irregular needle, sharps, or thin embroidery needles. Depends on the thread you use. If you haven't tried the self-thread needle, I really suggest you can check this out because it's such a lifesaver. I've been using it for many years and this helps. If you see one of my other videos, it will show you how to push the thread in, which I will show you. You don't have to use that. You don't need to buy anything. Just use the needle you have. But I thought it's good to let you know there's an option in the market that's super easy. So like that, and it's in. You don't need to look at the needle and push the thread in. I don't like that because it hurt my eyes. Check this out. I buy this in Japan. If you buy it in Amazon or eBay, I think the price will be around $8-9 ish. If you go to Japan, do buy some of it. It's so super good. Okay, use any needle you have, and then use any threads that you have. There's so many threads. Sewing thread, thinner crochet cotton, thicker crochet cotton, even thicker crochet cotton, and there's maternity threads. So you can use whatever you like actually. If you think this ordinary sewing thread is not thick enough, you can double up or triple up. So it's pretty easy to manipulate. And if you use crochet cotton on the fibers that is thin, try not to use anything that too thick. So this one I use this green threads, so it looks a bit, I don't know, too thick. This is similar size, so it will have different effects. But most of the threads I use just ordinary sewing threads, so you can see I can go through all this. If you feel that your hand needs a bit protections, you can use something for to help you to grab, but honestly you don't need that in this project. There's so many timbers. I have a lot of this, but anyway, you don't need this in this project. Okay, I can go through this and then talk about the stitches that I use. So the principle of this is, because my plan is to make a fiber book. You can use the 3 elements to make a like a fiber bookmark or something cluster. But assume that we all make fiber book. So you choose a rectangle one, and then you have to consider you fold the page. So you put one here, put another here. I would do one video of how we bind. That's pretty easy. And the principle is to choose 2 main fiber piece. It can be a patchwork piece, and it can be some fussy cutting. It can be anything. So it's not like black and white. You doesn't need to have to stick to 3. You can go for 4 or 5. And 3 is just easier for you to choose. So the 2 main fiber piece and another non-fiber piece. You can use fiber yo-yo, trims, reed rack, something like beads and flowers. This doesn't. Pom-poms, button, trims. Yeah, this one is exception, because I think, oh, this one have reed rack. Yes, I do have that 3 element. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. You can even use the seashell that you find on the beach with a hole, so you can stitch on it, or any random objects like a stick, or even a small pebble. Use your imaginations, and you can arrange them in certain shapes, like a house, or you don't need to. You can just go abstract. So a lot of my stuff is pretty just abstract, and it's beautiful enough. So if you have fussy cuts or cuts with image, you probably have to consider place that as a focal point. And you can go things that very simple with simple appliques. Let's talk about the stitches that we used. You can stick to straight stitches, which is straightforward. You can play with the colors. You can play big stitches or small stitches. For example, so you can see this is very tiny stitches using ordinary threads. This is big stitches using thicker threads. So you can play around and see how it looks like. And you can use you can go further than that, use a more fancier stitchings like French knots. There's a lot of YouTube videos show you how to do. It's pretty easy. Herringbone is another good one. This is feather stitchings with bit of variations. What else we have? And you can overlap the straight stitchings. It's like a sashiko stitching. And you can use feather stitchings, and you can play with different colors. These are all very simple, easy to learn embroidery stitches, and you can explore a little bit. You don't need to do anything complicated, because the aim is to relax. Let's talk about the applique. Appliques means that you how to explain, like sew the piece on top of the other piece. Yeah, you can find a definition. It has 2 types. One is to have the edge tucked under, so there's no raw edge like this. It needs a bit of manipulate and use your finger to tuck in. You can see more in the videos. Or you can go with raw edges like this one. These are raw edges. I mean this one. These also raw edges. I think there's more. Can't remember. Yeah, don't worry about to tuck under the edge, because you don't aim for something too complicated or taking too much time. You can just go with raw edge. A lot of my pieces have raw edges, and it's just basic collage. I'll show you. This is the raw edge applicate. So you use what's that? Blanket stitches, blanket stitches that you applicated. It looks pretty nice as the tuck under one. So yeah, you can choose, or you can use your pinky to paint the edge so it won't fray that much, or you can pull some of the threads out to make, you know, the edge a bit like this. I think I cover all. So if you want to see how exactly each pieces were made, you can have a look at the videos. And if you want to know how to make a mini fiber yo-yo, you can check the other video. Just search in my channel. And if you have any questions, you can ask in the groups. Then I can answer that, because I'm not quite sure how we are all up to. Yeah, so that's it for today. After we build up a stash, yeah, do share with us, and then I will talk about how we bind together. It basically is just something like a freehole, pin stitch, something like that. But if you want to hide all the nasty bits, then you probably need another method to bind, something like a single sheet binding with the folded piece here. So it can be goes like that, like a single piece, or you can sew two together, sew it all together, and then bind it as one double-sided page. But let's worry about that later. So let's just enjoy sewing it. If you don't want to make a fiber book, you can make single things like this. It's a fiber bookmark that you can. There's a lot of way to make it. So yeah, let me know if you want to see it, and I will talk about that.